All right, we're here as I had promised to talk about the first 1,000 days of any human being, because that's very, very important. And here we'll be talking about breastfeeding. This will help the moms who have a problem with breastfeeding as well. And we'll be able to look at why is it important to exclusively breastfeed for the first 6 months. And when you're starting to introduce the baby to actual food, how should you introduce them? And we're doing this because we talked about pregnancies, we talked about the first trimester, second trimester, third trimester with Dr. Jemima, and we discussed about what you're supposed to do while pregnant and what you're supposed to eat to stay healthy and for the baby to stay healthy as well. And now we're going to be taking it from there. And we are here with, I love to say doctor, but I'm a nutritionist kahugu. So we are here with, let me just use Dr. Lord Arthur, and he is a nutritionist, but I'd love for you to know more about who he is and exactly what he does. So let's get into the guest intro. Yes.
Today, we have a remarkable doctor who embodies the intersection of science, passion and innovation in nutrition. With over 8 years of experience, this doctor has transformed countless lives through their work in clinical nutrition and community interventions. Imagine a doctor who doesn't just offer advice, but tailors personalized meal plans that resonates with individual needs, an advocate who understands the complexities of critical care and oncology nutrition. This visionary has led impactful surveys and seamlessly integrated health systems, making a tangible difference in the communities they serve. As a certified diabetic educator and master trainer, this doctor has a unique ability to inspire and empower others, unlocking the potential of nutrition to heal and nourish. Get ready to learn from someone who's changing the landscape of health in profound ways. Please join me in welcoming the extraordinary Dr. Arthur Lord Gishuru.
All right, we are back, and that is exactly who Dr. Arthur is. Karibu sana. We're very, very glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So please say hi to our viewers, and then you can start.
My name is Arthur Lord Gishuru Wangari. Happy to be here. I'm blessed to be here also another time. Yeah. I work at County Government of Nakuru, Department of Health, whereby I'm a clinical nutritionist. I coordinate nutritional services at Nakuru County Referral Hospital, where wengi wanaijua kama PGH. I'm also a national trainer when it comes to maternal, infant and young child nutrition, and I coordinate a program also called BFCI and baby friendly hospital initiative currently in our hospital. Yes.
All right. We're very glad to have you today and very eager for this particular conversation.
Yes.
So when we say the first 1,000 days of any human being, at first even for me it was like, why 1,000? So please explain why 1,000 days.
When we talk about the first 1,000 days, we are able to focus on from conception up to the second birthday of a child. Okay. These days are quite crucial because that is when we have what we call window of opportunity of change. Between these, the first 1,000 days, that is when you can change the health of our child in terms of the primary statistics, in terms of stunting, you can rectify, wasting, you can rectify, underweight, you can rectify, and even to be able to meet the milestones ambazo mtoto anafaa kufikisha. When you talk about the first 1,000 days, we usually divide them in three. The first 9 months of pregnancy, because life of a child does not start after birth. They start after conception. That is day one. Then the first 270 days represent the 30 days times 9 of pregnancy. Then we have the second segment whereby we have the first 180 days, whereby after delivery, the baby is supposed to have exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months. And that is when one of our main topics today. And then we have the next from 6 up to 23 months, that is 540 days. If you add 540 to 180, and then you add 270, you'll have 1,000. After the first 1,000 days are done, there are things you cannot reverse. Some of the milestones that we have, some of the disabilities that we have, some of the stunting, which is a chronic malnutrition, you have to correct it before the first 1,000 days. That's the only window of opportunity. The second window of opportunity you can get is after the teenage years. That's why we have secondary growth.
Okay.
After that, you can't recorrect. That is why the Ministry of Health and also the WHO concentrate much on the first 1,000 days.
Okay.
Yes.
So in this 1,000 days is where you're able to, for example, children who are low in calcium.
Yes.
Because I've really heard so much about children who are born and their calcium levels are really, really low.
Yes.
So if you're able to correct it in the first 1,000 days, it means that the rest of their lives will be okay.
The rest of their life will be okay. When we talk about the first 1,000 days, that is why we usually encourage, and I'm happy you had that conversation, Dr. Jemima, concerning how a mother should be able to maintain her pregnancy. Uptake of IFAS is quite crucial. And then the 6 meals, the frequency of meals, the type of meals, the weight gain of that particular mother is quite crucial, because we may develop something called intrauterine growth retardation, IGR, of a baby. And that's when you have babies being born premature or having what we call forms of disabilities that they are born with because they didn't have the proper nutrition or proper care during pregnancy. But today, I want us to talk about this period of 180 days. That is why our main focus, from birth
to the 6 months.
The 6 months.
But before we get there, maybe talk a little bit about the pregnant ladies taking 6 meals a day, because in my mind, you go like 6 meals.
That is true. You know, the pregnancy period is divided in 3. I'll just touch it in a little bit kidogo, whereby we have the first trimester, the first 3 months, second trimester, the second 3 months, and the third trimester, the last 3 months. During the first trimester, a mother is supposed to add between 1 kg to 1.5. Suppose you are 50 kg or 60 kg, you're supposed to add between 61 to 62 kg. But that is the most important part. That is where embryonic development happens. The spinal cord is developing. So they require more of iron, they require more of folic. Iron to increase the increased needs of blood, and also to provide blood for that infant that Nini is going fetal that is growing, and also folic for DNA synthesis of the baby. But this particular period, mothers have a problem. Some they never plan their pregnancy. You are supposed to have something called preconception, and none plan their pregnancy, and that is a problem we have. By the time we are talking about the 6 frequency meals, they're supposed to have 3 meals, 2 snacks, and 1 extra meal. To be able to cover the extra energy that is needed. But the first trimester has this problem. That is where you have the hormonal imbalances, a lot of vomiting, a lot of nausea, because we're having hormone imbalances because the placenta hasn't developed. And that is why it is developing, and still the hormone is coming from the ovary. By the time they get to the 4 months, the hormonal imbalance is done because the placenta is done being working now. Then they start developing the cravings. Now, between the second trimester, they have to add between 2 to 5. And then that is where they need extra calcium. So they take a lot of milk, they need some eggs. But means the misconception, they are saying, okay, kula mayai mtoto hataongea.
I was about to ask that because I had a lady, in fact, she was pregnant in her, I think, second trimester. And she was saying, you know, while pregnant, hatakani kukula mayai.
Tutaenda CS. Mtoto atakuwa na ulimi mzito. Those are all myths, because pregnant mothers require a lot of protein for the fetal development, and also for storage due to the delivery during the lactation station. And then when you have, they need also calcium, a minimum of 1,000 milligrams per day. But mothers don't take milk. But if you don't take milk, the baby will not be affected much. What will affect is the mother during after the reproductive age. That's why we're having a lot of mothers having arthritis, because now the calcium will be resorption in the bones to be able to create to be able to cater for the needs of the infants.
And let me ask, so would you replace the milk with calcium supplements?
You know, we usually go for the low-hanging fruits in every scenario. We need to remember we are a developing country. There are other countries where you go, when you are given, you get your news, you are pregnant, you are waiting a bundle of joy, you get your IFAS there, you get your calcium supplements there, and a book. But here, calcium supplements are quite expensive, and they can be gotten from food sources like milk, like omena, some potatoes. You see,
The
these are the
omena
kind
part.
of things you can get.
Yeah.
So I'll encourage, we don't supplement first if there's no deficiency. We get them from food sources. That's why we encourage the 6 meals, and also we don't forget about water. It's quite important.
Okay.
Now, for the third trimester now, that is when now the baby is gaining weight, so we still to maintain that frequency of meals. For that now the baby should be able to acquire a weight of 2.5 and above.
Okay.
Yes, the issues of CS and what a baby will not, those are just myths. Yes, yes.
All
yes.
right.
Yes.
Now, now let's go to this from birth
Yeah.
up to 6 months.
Aha.
You said something when we were starting, that it's very important for a mother to exclusively breastfeed for the
Yes.
first 6 months.
Yes.
Why is that important?
Before we cover why it is important, I want you to take a process what happens in our maternity and in all maternity, or what is supposed to happen in all maternities. When a mother goes to deliver in labor ward, she's hesitant, she's stressed. What will be the outcome? And now, when kitambo, what used to happen when you deliver, the baby was taken to a baby cot.
Yeah.
And mama anaambiwa pumzika sasa kidogo, utaona mtoto wako kesho.
Yeah.
And baby used to be given some tags, anaandikwa jina. But when a mother delivers right now, current guidelines have showcased there is something we call early initiation.
Okay.
What is early initiation? It is immediately introducing the baby to a breast within 1 hour of birth.
Okay.
So that early initiation, when a mother delivers at the labor bed, the delivery bed, the baby is not taken to the resuscitator. The baby weighing is not an option. Bathing the baby is not an option. Telling the mother to go and bathe is not an option. The baby is just placed at the abdomen of the mother immediately. Hata kama mjakata cord. So other things will take place, like the suture of the mother kama ametea, vitamin K can be just given there. And then when we place the baby there, we make sure the ABC, air, breathing, we make sure everything, the baby is okay. And then the baby is placed at the abdomen, skin to skin. Hajavaishwa nguo.
Okay.
We wipe everywhere, but we do not wipe the hands of the baby because it has the smell of amniotic fluid, ile maji mama mtoto alikuwa nayo pale ndani. And the same amniotic fluid, the same smell is the same in the breast of the baby. So now when we just make sure the baby akona kofia, and then tutaekelea a covering due to insulate so that the hypothermia take place, but the skin to skin. That baby, even if hajafungua macho, will start crawling.
Okay.
His or her sense of smell has already been activated, and he's following up on that smell up to afike kwa nipple ya mama, and that ataanza kufika hapo, ataweza kuattach, ataweza kuvuruta.
Okay.
It is not the issue of feeding because some of the breast may not have milk at that particular. It may have some even watery liquid droplets. Some may not have, but it's that sensitization sensation whereby we want to make sure the hormones that are responsible for milk production are produced early. Hormone prolactin and oxytocin. So the other things that the doctors and the nurses continue suturing over there, making sure mama na mtoto for the first 1 hour.
Okay.
And then if the delivery room is busy, we can do for 30 minutes or 20 minutes and still continue at the postnatal ward pahali mama nako na mtoto wataweza kukua. When now delivery has taken, early initiation has a lot of benefits.
Okay.
Number 1, mtoto akizaliwa anatoka akiwa analia. Anapiga nduru sana. Anapiga, why umenileta huko? You know this baby is used in a place very comfortable. First of all, the baby will cry because the atmospheric pressure will rush to the lungs and make the baby has the first breath of life.
Okay.
And then the baby has found you guys talking. He was in a very calm place where he was having a very good music being played by an organ called the heart. Dudum. And then he comes out, he just people
so much noise.
So much noise, and then unfamiliar place, start crying.
Okay.
But when you do early initiation, the baby, when it's placed at the chest of the mother, it calms the baby. One of the reasons it calms the baby heart will synchronize with the mother, because ni kitu alikuwa amezoea.
Okay.
And then the baby will know I'm in a familiar place. Start listening.
Okay.
And then it will calm that baby. The other thing, the warmth. Where the skin to skin touch brings a lot of warmth to the baby.
Yeah.
So it is able to make the baby becomes warm. And also it activates what we call rooting reflex, swallowing reflex, and suckling reflex. Many a times you find babies alizaliwa hakuwahi wekwa matiti kwa mdomo. By the time unakuja mweka hanyonyi.
Yeah.
So inasaidia sana. So chances are when you place that baby and the mother sees there is bonding. You have had places whereby we have defilement, and we say when this baby is delivered, we take them to the children's home. But when a mother sees a baby like this, loves develop.
Yeah.
So when they develop like they are 99% chance that mother will be exclusive breastfeed after doing that early initiation. So, and also the colostrum will able be provided, and also that particular bonding will able make sure the milk letdown process will be faster.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So when we start now, we usually insist that the mother and the baby should stay in one room. Hakuna kuchukua mtoto kumpeleka kwa room nyingine. And they should not even in the same bed, where we call rooming in.
Okay.
It is part of the 10 steps of baby-friendly hospital initiative. Rooming in, and the mother and baby are there. Which
helps in?
Because which helps. One of the things, when we come, we're going to see things that activate milk production. Unajua kwa kijiji utasikia mama akisema kama hauna maziwa, kula njahe, kula sijui hii, kunywa supu, but one of the things that activates milk production in a mother is the touch. The touch of the baby. Okay. The other thing that activates the milk production and maintain it is the sight of the baby.
Or sight.
Yes.
So anaweza kuwa kwa the same room.
Yes.
Hata kama you're not like physically hajakulalia hapa, just seeing them,
just seeing the baby. That's why you see a mother going to a market and aone mtoto wake kwa simu, maziwa inaanza kumwagika. Number 2, that is touch. Touch, and that is why we insist on skin to skin, and you'll not have a problem with milk milk supply being affected. Okay. The other thing that activates the milk production is the sound of the baby. Ndio maana unasikia mama akisikia mtoto hata kama si wake, then asynchronize awasikie kama huyu analia kama wangu, maziwa inaanza kumwagika. And then there is also building confidence, the mother believing I can do it. And also what we have, thinking lovely of the baby. So when we start now this journey day 1, the mother has been supported well. So wamekaa within 1 hour. That is what we call early initiation. So when mothers need to understand, when you go to maternity, early initiation will save your baby. And I'm happy in our hospital, Margaret Kenyatta, the healthcare workers have embraced it. And we are doing it. And I hope the other hospitals that can also do it because it helps and it saves a life. Let me tell you how it is saving our lives. In terms of NBU, babies who start early initiation much earlier, they start breastfeeding much early. So there is something we call hypoglycemia, sukari kwenda chini. So watoto walikuwa wanapelekwa neonatal born unit, NBU, and it was crowding the unit. So we had to we reduced by 30%. Also hypothermia. You find a baby anapata baridi amewekwa kando, but when you put to skin, you are able to kusaidia mtoto hatapata shida yoyote. Yes.
Wow.
Now,
the early initiation, I think that is something most people didn't really know about.
Yes.
But as you've said, we now understand that it's very, very, very important.
Very important. People are shocked that a baby can crawl day 1.
I'm also wondering, what do you mean the baby will crawl at how many minutes? 20?
Particular videos somewhere, and because we cannot show it to the masses, how a delivery happens. There is a global health media from UNICEF. They have those videos you can see. And we are lucky that some of the videos were taken a concept from our hospitals in Kenya and some in Pakistan.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
all right. Now after that, we go to
now the issue
breastfeeding.
breastfeeding.
Yes.
Now, usually, according to the guidelines by the WHO, by the Ministry of Health, by the Department of Health, Nakuru, we have really insisted that exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months. What do we mean when we say exclusive breastfeeding? Kunyonyesha mtoto miezi 6 mfululizo bila kumpatia chochote, hata maji hatutampatia.
Even water?
Even water hatutampatia.
Okay.
Unless something that you're supposed to give, it is medically indicated. Unajua, medically indicated means a doctor, a qualified doctor, has proven that this particular thing need to be given.
Okay.
And I can attest to you, 95% of the time, nothing is needed. So when I talk about even certain drugs are not needed, like grip water, herbal medicine, cow's milk, goat milk. Kuna wengine wanapeana
Talking about the goat
chumvi.
milk.
Yes.
The goat milk nimesikia mara nyingi sana, if you're not able to breastfeed.
Yes.
Pepea tu mtoto goat milk.
And that is why it is part of the BMS Act that we are going to talk today.
Okay.
So when we talk about exclusive breastfeeding, it's a very good period. And I'm happy when mothers come to clinic, they know this. But doing it is a problem. You'll ask a mother, mama, unafaa kunyonyesha miezi ngapi? Miezi 6, he'll tell you so comfortably.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that make a mother between, sana sana inaanzia mwezi wa pili, wa tatu. And those are the things you are coming to tackle.
Yeah.
But let's start with the benefits of exclusive breastfeeding.
Yeah.
You know, some things when a mother doesn't know, that is why they find themselves giving sijui unga ya heho, unga ya baridi. That's why they give goat milk, camel milk, infant formula. All those are not mandated for a child.
Okay.
So benefits of breastfeeding, we usually divide in 4 segments. Number 1 for the infant, for the mother, for the family, and for the society.
Okay.
So we are going to start for the infant.
For the infant.
Benefits of exclusive breastfeeding for the infant. Number 1, breast milk has anti-infection properties. In terms, it is rich in antibodies ambazo ziko uhai.
Yeah.
Wakati mmoja ama ule mwingine, mama alikuwa mgonjwa, aligonjeka either TB, corona, also, and he gained antibodies. Zile ni wanajeshi wa kupigana na magonjwa.
Yeah.
So they are retained in the body. When the baby is born, has a clean slate. Hajai pitia your life ambayo mama amepitia. So when you breastfeed your child, those antibodies are transferred via breast milk from the mother to the baby.
Okay.
And they protect the baby from diseases, especially what we call diarrhea, and then upper respiratory tract infections. You find a lot of babies used to succumb to pneumonia.
Yeah.
And when you breastfeed, utaweza kuwa na hizo shida. Also, the first milk, which we call colostrum, which is in dark yellow in color, help remove the first dark stool, which we call meconium. Yes, and to the baby. And also, it prevents allergy and intolerances.
Okay. So the first milk inakuanga for how long?
It goes 3 to 7 days.
Okay.
Yes, and that is why a mother needs support in the first week.
Okay.
To be able to maximize in the colostrum. The other countries whereby I want to mention them, they have known the good properties of colostrum, and some of the husbands are breastfeeding from the
Really? Or because it's very rich?
It's very rich. So the other issue or the other advantage of exclusive breastfeeding, breast milk has what we call certain properties that are able to add immunity, not only there, even in the future.
Okay.
And when the baby breastfeed from the breast, anajitishia yeye mwenyewe, rather than compared to what we call hand feeding. You may overfeed.
Yeah.
So babies may end up being overweight, and even getting diabetes and childhood cancers later in life. That's why we are having a rise in type 1 diabetes, because babies are not exclusively breastfed.
Okay.
And then also, there is something also we call intelligent quotient. The breast milk has a particular part where we have omega-3, omega-6 that aids in development of intelligent quotient. So exclusive babies, research has shown they have better output when they go to school, learning outcomes when they go to school. Also, when you talk about breastfeeding to the infant, it's a time for bonding between the child and the mother.
Yeah.
So it's you have all the reason to able to exclusively breastfeed.
Yeah.
Breastfeed has all the properties. It has enough calories, energy, protein. It has all the enough fat that is needed. It has the micronutrients that are needed,
Yeah.
the minerals. 80% of breast milk is water. So that is
Well,
why,
that's why you don't need to give the baby
doesn't need
water.
water.
Okay.
So whenever you breastfeed so well, the baby atakuwa sawa.
Okay.
When it comes now to the mother, what are the benefits
Of breastfeeding?
to breastfeeding? Number one, to the mother, it prevents the mother for getting another pregnancy. When you do exclusive breastfeeding day and night, it acts like a natural family planning.
Okay.
Number two, it prevents the mother from getting what we call ovarian cancer and breast cancer.
How?
The hormonal is a hormonal thing.
Okay.
So that is why you as you all know, breast cancer is number 2 after cervical cancer.
Yeah.
So this one is one of the properties. Mothers should always breastfeed, because if you do not breastfeed, you may start feeling your breast is heavy, like a lump, like that.
Yeah.
Number 3, the first week of life of the baby, when the mother is breastfeeding, the uterus had expanded. But now it has to come back. Wamama watakwambia wanasikia uchungu.
Yeah.
So for uterine contraction, when you breastfeed, there's a hormone that called oxytocin that pushes the milk from the alveoli to the nipple.
Yeah.
But it does not push milk only. That is why unaona mama akinyonyesha wiki ya kwanza atakuwa nasikia uchungu hapa chini kwa tumbo. So it brings the uterine contraction and prevents also postpartum hemorrhage. Yes, to the mother.
Okay.
And also bonding between the mother and the child. Yes.
Maybe let's go back kidogo. You said it also prevents PPH, the excessive bleeding.
Yes.
Would excessive bleeding happen probably like a week after delivery?
Yes.
It would?
Yeah, that is why one of the danger signs, when a mother goes home, they are told if you are changing pads more than 4 in a day, kindly go back to the facility. The MCH booklet, page 20, if mothers have it in their home, they usually, when we discharge mothers, we usually give them the danger signs of a mother and a child.
Okay.
And one of it is that one.
Okay.
Yes. Now we go to family.
The
What are
family.
the benefits? When a child gets sick, nani anateseka sana?
The
Ni mzee.
family. Yeah.
Taanza kutafuta tuk-tuk, anza kutafuta pesa ya kulipa, and also the mother is stressed.
Yeah.
So when you exclusively breastfeed, chances of you running in the, unajua ugonjwa inakuwa serious usiku.
Why? Surely.
So chances ya wewe kuanza kukimbia usiku are very minimal.
Yeah.
Because by right now, the baby immunity iko sawa. And then this milk, I forgot to say to the child, it prevents also constipation. It has digestible proteins. In breast milk, we have whey protein, more over 80%. But in goat milk, if you try to give it, it is 80% casein. That is when you give infant formula, goat milk or cow milk, the baby start getting constipation. Anaweza kaa hata wiki moja hajaenda choo.
Yeah.
And then start getting allergic reaction. Izima, unaanza kusema ni joto, ni sabuni ulibadilisha.
Okay.
So by the time now we are talking about the society, the family, they know loss of money in terms of going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And that money can be saved. It is a bonding time. When a child is breastfeeding, everybody in the family is happy. They come to watch. Angalia vile kananyonya. It is a happy time in that family. And that time and resources can be saved somewhere. And the family lives a stressful life. For the society and for the country, why do we spread this gospel, children to be exclusively breastfed? Because one, it is we are going to conserve environment.
Okay.
In times when you buy infant formula to constitute, you need water. Those tins will be thrown away. One child requires 40 tins of infant formula. It's quite expensive. A tin costs 2,500. That is 84,000 for 6 months. Hiyo ni pesa tunaweza somesha watoto watatu. Si ndio? Number 2, a lot of illnesses will be there. So kitambo ungepata waiting basic bay imejaa watoto kama 50 and you know babies don't pay. So that is money can be used elsewhere to be able to improve. So we have all reasons to be able to do exclusive breastfeeding.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Wow. I love how you've explained the importance of exclusive breastfeeding
Yes, yes.
to the baby,
Yes.
to the mother,
Yes.
to the family, and the community.
In the community.
Which tells you that it's very important to breastfeed exclusively.
Yes.
And then, as you said, that most of the mothers wanaanzanga kupewa watoto chakula at 3 months, 2 months, just because they don't know the importance or the danger signs
Yes.
of not exclusively breastfeeding at that particular time.
Yes.
Now, we'll be looking at why is it that some mothers are not able to truly, even while knowing all that, they're
Yes.
not able to now breastfeed for the
Yes,
6 months.
yes, yes.
But before we go there, we have some of the mythbusters just to see what are some of the myths that people have considering or concerning what you are talking about today.
Yes.
So let's get the mythbusters and then we'll be getting the vox pops a bit later. So tutakuwa tunaangalia hapa na daktari tuone kama ni ukweli ni myths ama ukweli iko tu sawa, you know. So the first one is that newborns should be bathed every day. Is that a myth?
We can say that's what I've explained. When a baby is born, you should delay bathing of the baby because the outer skin layer that we usually remove acts as a insulation for what we call to avoid hypothermia. So a baby can be bathed even after 2 days.
Okay.
Yes, so we delay
Hold on.
bathing.
So after 2 days, so these 2 days, because in my mind I'm seeing how a newborn looks like.
Yes.
So ataka hivyo for the 2 days.
Early initiation is priority number 1. Early initiation.
But early
Even
initiation is
feeding the
different.
mother that particular time is not a priority. Then we continue skin to skin.
So the early initiation
Yes.
should be for how you said an hour.
For an hour, and then it is continued.
Okay.
Yeah. You see even the mother, how mama ikona, mothers can attest to this when wameenda delivery, wanasema ukijifungua unaambiwa enda uoge.
Yeah.
Enda uoge na unaambiwa wewe uoge na maji baridi. Wanakuambia the current guidelines ambazo ziko nazo sasa wanakuambia let the mother stay with the child, so that we make sure we maximize on exclusive breastfeeding.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, very interesting. The second one is that all newborns should sleep in their stomachs for better digestion, or should sleep on their stomachs, like
usually say when a child you want the newborns to sleep, put them on a side. They sleep on a side, not on the stomach.
Okay.
Their peristalsis hasn't developed quite well, and that's why tunasikia mtoto alinyongwa na maziwa. So usually sleep on the side because to avoid aspiration. And usually say when you breastfeed your child, make sure you have bapped the baby, umemteukisha, maziwa imeteremka. Some of the babies sleep with breast milk in their mouth. And I can attest to you, when you have something imepita the airway rather than going to the esophagus way, you will feel a choking effect. And then you will feel
really
that particular foreign object inaletwa juu, inakuja polepole, inakuja polepole, and eventually you will cough it out. The babies don't have that motion until they get 3 months.
Okay.
Yes.
So ikienda imeteremka imeenda kwa lungs.
That is what we have, that particular problem.
Okay.
Yes.
So alale na side.
The side, not the stomach.
All right. Okay. And the burping part?
Yeah.
You have to explain. How's the baby supposed to be burped?
You just place it them here. You just rub from the, let's say, lumbar vertebrae up to the cervical, ama hapa kuanzia hapa tu nyuma kwa mgongo. Let me use nini language. Kidogo tu unaanzia kwa shingo kuteremka, unasugua tu pole pole, unagonga gonga kidogo kienda juu, then that air gap will be, utasikia iko sawa.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi. The third one now is that it's okay to let newborns cry it out. Walie tu.
No,
Wacha watoto walie.
When the baby cries, they use a lot of energy. And that energy is calories. And that calories should have been used for growth and development. So your baby will not add weight. Yes.
Okay.
So you should not let, and then they may also develop, they'll become fuzzy and they'll not breastfeed. Some of them may develop something called nursing strike. Anakasirika, anaenda maandamano.
Anakata kunyonya, which means hata grow.
Hata grow.
Okay. So you have to get to know why exactly the baby is crying.
Crying is a form of, is the only communication the baby has between the mother and the child. And that is why we don't insist of mothers giving a pacifier. Because some mothers buy, these days due to social media pressure, there are something we call a pacifier. Babies are given, they are so pretty. Some imeandikwa daddy, mommy. Some others imewekwa, they're even putting a fruit upon daddy.
Yes.
A pacifier or a dummy makes your baby become a dummy. What do I mean? When a baby is hungry, what do? Will they write a text? No.
No.
Will they call you?
No.
Will they write a letter? What are they going to do?
They'll cry.
Very good. When they are wet, they want a change of diapers. What do they do?
They'll cry.
When they want to sleep, what do they do? They'll cry. Yes. When a baby feels the temperature in the area imepanda, kuna joto, they'll cry.
Okay.
So crying is their mode of communication. So when they cry, just know it's something
There's
else.
something wrong.
Yes.
Okay. The fourth one is that you should avoid all germs around the newborn.
Yes, that is good. Because we are, just as I told you, a baby is born with a clean slate. The immunity hasn't developed quite much.
Yeah.
And that is why we usually encourage, even if you have visitors, let them be after 4 months.
Yeah.
Because there are certain areas whereby unasikianga, there were that myth, mtoto wako aliangaliwa na macho mbaya na jirani.
Yeah.
Have you ever
That's
heard
a
it?
myth.
Yes, but sometimes you allowed a lot of visitors who are suffering from various illnesses.
Yeah.
They brought some infection to the baby, like kuja kushika mtoto, kukunywa chai ya mtoto.
Na kwanza kuchumu mtoto
Na
huku.
kuchumu mtoto.
Hey,
Your
stop,
baby alikuwa na very flawless skin.
Yeah, kidogo
Ni kama
anaweza kuwa
kwa
na
skin
rashes.
routine. Lakini after those visitors leave by tomorrow morning, amejaa vitu.
Yeah,
Because-
you wonder surely.
Yes.
Why are you breathing near the baby? Stop
So
it.
if the event they come, tell them the baby is sleeping to avoid
Alafu aanze
crossing
kulia.
infections. Yes.
Okay.
So now we go to what we call why do mothers know they are supposed to exclusive breastfeed?
But they're not able to breastfeed.
And this one is not only for mothers, even healthcare workers.
Okay.
After 1 month there are certain what we call common breastfeeding problems that will occur.
Okay.
And there are some things that hinder breast milk production. Let me start from there. One is what we call stress. When a mother is stressed, she'll have a temporary problem producing milk.
Okay.
Number two, she's going to have a problem when she's having doubt and worry, and when a mother is in pain, especially for a mother who from CS. So what do we mean stress, worry, and doubt? These are the kind of things that if a mother is thinking like, nitatoa wapi rent ya kesho, mtoto wangu wako wapi, mzee wangu ni kama haniangalii vizuri. Those are the kind of things inafanya milk production iende chini. The other thing also that worries a mother is what we call a baby crying. So we have three main common breastfeeding barriers. Number one is what we call when a mother says not enough milk. Sina maziwa ya kutosha. Maziwa yangu ni rahisi sana. Number two, we have what we call a crying baby. Whereby mtoto analia sana. So mothers interpret mtoto wangu hashibi kwa sababu ndio analia sana.
Okay. And what is usually the cause of mtoto kulia sana?
Tutaweza kufika hapo.
Okay.
And then we have what we call breast refusal. Nilisema mtoto anaweza enda maandamano. And then the other ones are cultural practices, myth and misconception.
Okay.
When we start with what we call before we start on common breastfeeding, there's something quite important called positioning and attachment when you're breastfeeding. At the hospital, before uende nyumbani, lazima uoneshwe jinsi ya kushika mtoto na kumweka kwa matiti.
Okay.
People take it for granted. They think just breastfeeding is a natural process. Kwani unashindwa kunyonyesha, si ushike mtoto umweke. So unapata when we receive a baby, tunabeba a bag, which we have been taught to have a bath plan, kuja na nguo za kuvaisha mtoto nini. So a mother ameenda mahali kwa duka ya town, amenunua nguo mingi. When the baby is being received, amevaishwa t-shirt 8, apron 9, ngana 3,
overall.
and then the mother-in-law comes with ile inataka ula kinyau, wanafungwa kama nyama kwota. And the baby is brought like a bundle. By the time analetwa kufika hapa, kufikia matiti ni shida. So able to position the baby is a problem. and to attach is a problem.
Okay.
So when do we talk about position? Is where you place a baby to be able to be strategically placed to be able to breastfeed.
Okay.
Number one, we have 4 key points of positioning. The baby should be horizontally in line. This is my baby. This is the head. These are the buttocks.
Yeah.
So the baby should be horizontally, horizontally hivi, not vertically.
Oh,
So
okay.
ukinyonyesha mtoto wako asikae vertical, akue horizontally. That's what atakuwa opposite the breast. Tumeelewana?
Alright.
Yes, as you can see,
Yeah.
we have the 4 key points of position, horizontally placed. And then the baby should be, body should be brought closer to the mother.
Yeah.
The baby should be brought closer to the mother. And katikati yako na mtoto, ikiwezekana pasikue na nguo.
Okay.
So zile nguo za kuzuia mtoto asipate baridi, wacha ziekelewe juu, zi insulate kuanzia juu. Then the baby whole body should be supported. So kichwa inalalia hapa, and then unashika the buttocks here. So the baby whole body is supported. And then when the baby is brought here, you give the breast, the nipple, from nose to mouth. Wengi wanashinda wakifanya hivi, wanaforce mtoto, and you may give wrong ideas to the baby. So when you place the nipple here, the smell of the nipple will be able to attract. Then we have what we call attachment. Thank you for the pictures. Attachment is now how you attach the baby to the breast. There are 4 key points of attachment, and we use the word come. Utajuaje mtoto wako umemshikisha matiti vizuri? Number 1, the chin, kidevu. I hope atarudisha hiyo picha ilikuwa hapo. The chin, yes, thank you. The chin, kidevu, should touch the breast. And that is why you see the picture number 1, the chin is touching the breast. Number 2, what we have, the dark region of the breast, inafaa ikuwe ndani ya mdomo ya mtoto. Ndio hiyo nipple inaingia up to the throat, as you can see. And then we have the mouth should be wide open, because that black region, the dark region, imeingia ndani kwa mdomo. Asinyonye hapa mbele. And then the lower lip should be turned outward. If you see picture number 2, we have the baby, the chin is not touching the breast. And I urge mothers, when you are breastfeeding, look for these 4 points and you won't have a problem. And this baby is breastfeeding the nipple, and sucking the nipple. And when you suck the nipple, if you try, can you try doing like this? Unasikia nini inapita? Hewa. And that is why unasikia mtoto anatoa anatoa hiyo sauti hivyo na ananyonya hewa. And then that will the nipple ikiwa hapa karibu kwa the jaws, that is why unasikia mama amepiga mtoto yake kofi. Umeniuma. Yes, when we have that poor attachment. So it is quite crucial to be able to follow number 1, proper positioning and attachment. Proper position and attachment will solve 90% of the common breastfeeding barriers that we are going to solve. We are going to check.
To be looking at.
Because these are the problem tuko nazo mara yote. Number 1, not enough milk. Many a times, wamama wanasema sina maziwa ya kutosha, and this prompt them to go and find infant formula, to go to find goat milk, to go and find unga ya baridi akupatia mtoto. Kwa sababu kwa mtazamo wake, it is called perceived, hana maziwa tosha. Let me get clear that a mother has milk to breastfeed 2 to 3 children. Yes, an average mother can produce 2 liters in a day of milk. So the secret is to be able to activate those things that I said that may make a mother produce milk. Hakuna mahali nilitaja chakula. Nikuulize tu swali, mama kama ambaye hajakula atatoa maziwa?
I'm going there. I'm going there because you've talked about stress. You've talked about mtoto kugoma. Ameamua tu I don't want to breastfeed today. But then, when after a mother delivers, we see most of the time that's the time yenye wanapeangwa chakula nyingi. Mpaka wanablendiwa, like literally everything. How important is that?
Mama anapewa mtoto.
Mama.
Now, a mother when they deliver, when they are pregnant, they were getting 6 meals in a day. 3 meals, 2 snacks, plus 1 extra meal. Now, when between a pregnant mother and a lactating mother, who requires more energy? It is a lactating mother. because the milk she's producing has kilocalories. So she need to eat more to be able to make quality milk. And that is why when you go to our hospitals, our mother are catered for. So when it comes to lactating, a pregnant mother should able to get good maternal nutrition. But that does not say that if a mother does not eat njahe, if the mother does not eat a particular food, milk will not come. Milk, when a mother doesn't take proper, thank you for this picture. We have for breastfeeding mothers, whereby as you can see in the picture, we have the 3 meals plus 2 snacks plus 2 extra meals, whereby they get 7. Vis-a-vis a pregnant woman who gets 6. Unakumbuka tulikuwa tumeongelelea 6. So when a breastfeeding mothers, we have food groups ambazo tulitackle previous channel, whereby we have 10 food groups for a pregnant mother. These 10 food groups, a mother should get at least 5 out of 10. Yes. So that breast milk should have quality. What if a mother doesn't take maybe at least 4 or 3? Will breast milk come out? Yes, itatoka. Lakini the quality will be gone, but the quantity won't be compromised. What will happen? The mother's maternal stores ndio zitajikula kutengeneza hiyo maziwa. Yes. So mama asiseme mimi sasa sijakula leo, hakuna maziwa. You pressure the husband, lazima uniletee hii ndio maziwa itoke.
So the quantity is the same,
but the quality
is what
will
matters.
be compromised. Now we continue the not enough milk. So it is perceived. But how will you know that your baby is not getting enough milk? There are places above mtoto situation mtoto hatapata not enough milk. Number 1, a baby if gets enough milk every month. After 6 weeks, baby adds 500 grams or half a kg per month. Umeona? A baby should able to give wet nappies at least 8 times. And then also, since now
8 times a day?
8 times a day. And then also, if you know a baby is not getting enough, when you see the feces of a baby, inakuwa green. Yes. So that is when you know a baby is not getting enough. How will you make sure a baby is getting enough? Number 1, positioning and attachment. Number 2, expression. Kuna wale watoto hawavuruti maziwa sana, they are so lazy in kuvuruta. So you can express your milk and able to give with a cup. Yes.
We'll be talking about expressing the milk and how you're supposed to do it.
Yes.
But before we go there, you've talked about when the baby positioning of the baby and how the baby atakuwa tu hapo, but they're not taking enough or hajakuwa positioned vizuri. When you notice that the issue is the positioning, but sasa kwa mtoto una position vizuri but mwenyewe tu ni kama amegoma. Is there something you can do badala ya express? Is there something that you can do?
For us, we usually say there is something that I want to encourage for you to do a proper positioning to be able to continue with your milk supply. Now, the control of breast milk production is not done by any other part of the body. It is done by the breast itself. The more milk you produce, the more milk the baby breastfeeds, the more milk is produced. The higher the demand, the higher the supply. Now, you have had a scenario whereby a mother anasema sina maziwa. How did it arrive there? It arrives when a mother delivered, maziwa iko inatoka mingi sana. And when mtoto anafikisha miezi 2, there's something we call a growth spurt. The demands become higher. So this baby may start crying kidogo, being fuzzy kidogo. The mother may think mtoto wangu hachibi. So haikuwa ananyonyesha mara 6, sasa huyu mtoto anataka mara 8. So kindly that's what tunasema exclusive breastfeeding, day and night. What happens when this mother decide to introduce any other foods which we call mixed feeding? Aanzishe hizo chakula zingine. Number 1, haikuwa natoa tuseme, let's say an example, haikuwa natoa lita 10 ya maziwa. So akianza kupatiana hii uji ama infant formula, that baby won't breastfeed that day. So milk will itakaa pale kwa matiti. That milk has a chemical that send a signal to the brain. Tawambia, brain, leo ni kama huku hakuna order.
Yeah.
So what will happen?
Wacha kuproduce.
Wacha kuproduce kidogo.
Yeah.
Sasa kesho toa lita 8. Then the mother does the same thing the next day. So the production will shoot from 10 up to 2. And that explains why when a mother is breastfeeding one breast sana, aache hii ingine, hii inatoa maziwa mingi compare na hii ingine. Unasema hii mtoto apendagi, haina maziwa mingi ni hii.
Kumbe you are the problem.
You are the problem. So I'll encourage usiwachishe kunyonyesha mtoto, kumweka kwa matiti. That stimulation, how breastfeeding works is quite important.
Okay.
When we want to, wengi wakitaka kuachisha mtoto wao kunyonyesha, huwa wanapeleka kwa shosho.
Yeah.
Kwa nini maziwa inakauka? Because siku ya kwanza na ya pili na ya tatu matiti itauma, then the fourth day maziwa itaacha kuproduce. It is that chemical in that breast.
Okay.
So I will not encourage you to give any other thing unless medically indicated.
Okay. Now, you've talked about breastfeeding the baby during the day and during the night.
Yes.
So the night part, there's a problem kidogo. How are you supposed to breastfeed during the night? Is it after 1 hour? Is it after 2 hours? Or is it on demand?
Thank you for that question. We should not plan for the baby. Sasa nilimnyonyesha saa 1, nitamnyonyesha saa 3, sasa nitamnyonyesha intermittently. Breastfeed on demand. Mtoto anaweza nyonya dakika 5, then after 10 minutes atake tena. Usimwambie mrafi kama baba yako. Weka yeye kwa matiti, aendelee kunyonya. And especially at night, I will encourage mothers to breastfeed at night. There is that hormone that supports milk production called prolactin. It is produced more at night.
Okay.
Yes. So it is quite important you breastfeed at night. Yes. Now we have also when we come to not enough milk, there is crying baby.
Okay.
When you have a crying baby, ni ule mtoto analia kila saa. So what do the mothers think? And ataambia mtoto wako analia ni njaa. Wewe hii maziwa yako haina nguvu. When you break a confidence of the mother, including even healthcare workers, when you break the confidence of the mother, no, I'm not doing the right thing. And that is why we like supporting them. Just ask the scholars, tell us, am I doing the right thing? Yes, you are doing the right thing. And this crying baby can cry due to illness, can cry due to temperature changes, can cry if the diapers are wet. There are babies who are high need babies. Wanalia too, the high need babies. But most important of all is colic. Now, in every GIT of every person, there is a particular prebiotic ambayo zina exist pale, microflora, ambao they live in symbiotic era with the hosts.
Okay.
So those microflora, they usually like existing in a place we call without air. They do anaerobic respiration. So hawapendi hewa.
Okay.
So when a baby ananyonya, umemweka vizuri, umemweka vibaya kwa matiti, anaanza kunyonya, anavuta hewa. So you can imagine doing it for 1 hour hivyo. So hiyo hewa itaenda pale, and then itaenda, instead of doing anaerobic, ni kuweza exist without oxygen. Now you are brought in oxygen. So they like go on a riot and start twisting intestines like that. And now mtoto atapiga nduru, and then mtoto ataanza kupata like constipation. Atalia, hata wamama wanaweza kukuambia hiyo kilio si ya kawaida. And anaweza taka atakurushia mtoto nje ya dirisha. They get what we call postpartum stress, depression. So what can we do to able to avoid that? Mothers run to get something called grip water.
Okay.
Yes. And grip water is just water and sugar.
Okay.
Sugar, in terms of, now for that anaerobic respiration, for those who know chemistry, it requires some sugar. And able to it's like a substrate to them. When the substrate is food, so it cools them off. Na hiyo mtoto anaacha kulia. But you have not solved the root cause.
Okay.
What is the root cause? Allowing that air in. So the main reason we can do to avoid that is to do one of the following things. Make sure positioning and attachment is okay. And you have already a baby having colic, find a way of removing that ear. By either kumsugua mgongo, I had a picture whereby unasugua, and ingine unaweza mwekelea hapa, and then unachukua tu miguu, unaweza leta miguu, unaleta kwa tumbo, until aweze kufat hiyo hewa itoke. For that, it will relieve that baby, and now help that mother know the proper positioning and attachment to avert the recurrence of that. So if you do not do proper, I told you proper positioning and attachment is our golden rule of doing that. So a baby may cry due to colic and all those. Number 3 is breast refusal. Breast refusal, hu mtoto anakataa kunyonya, goes to a nursing strike. This comes when a mother goes for, wamekuwa na mtoto for the last 1 or 2 months. They have bonded quite well. And mama all of a sudden arudi kazi. Hasa mtoto amekuwa disoriented. Anasema na wewe utaniona ukirudi hata hiyo matiti yako sitaki. So when the mother stays for long without breastfeeding. The other issue concerns when a baby has blocked nostrils. Amefungana mapua, anaweza acha kunyonya kwa sababu anapumua na mdomo. Then we have those babies that have low birth weight, preterm. Their sucking reflex is poor. So this, when you have breast refusal, it is, don't go and buy infant formula. Don't say sasa maziwa yangu haitaki. You should express your milk. Yes.
How are you supposed to express it?
Very nice. Expression is something that has been covered in myth and misconception due to cultural and religious background. I want to attest that breast milk expressed is safe for the child to take. And I thank you for this picture. As you can see in that picture, number 1 you have to consider is hygiene. Hygiene, you wash your hands with soap and water. We have 5 steps of hand expression. Anaosha maji na mikono, maji na sabuni vizuri. Then the containers that you are supposed to use for expression should also be cleaned thoroughly with the soap and clean water. Zikabuliwa mara mbili. If you are at home, sterilize that cup or that bowl by boiling water and putting it 1 minute in water. So when you want to express, use a wider container, iko na wide mouth, so that breast milk haitokai kama mfereji, inaruka hivi kando. And then when you want to express, mothers with big breast have more milk. Watu wanafananisha mtu na ng'ombe. The more the bigger the udder, the bigger the more breast, the more milk production. But when it comes to human, it's tofauti. At the top part of the breast, that is where we have milk production happening, where we have the alveoli, where we have the milk ducts. And if you have a big breast and a small breast, they'll still produce the same milk. The back part is only have fat tissue. And that is why unaonanga watu wengine wakifanyiwa breast implant na still they can breastfeed. So when you are breastfeeding, when you are expressing, after you have washed your hands, you need to sit comfortably in a very comfortable chair to be able to protrude the breast forward. And then you place 2 hands from the nipple, and then you make a C. When you are expressing, usikamue kama ng'ombe, kuvuruta hivi mbele. That's why unasikia wamama wakisema kukamua ni uchungu. So when you are doing like that, only droplets of breast milk itatoka. Then mama atasema sina maziwa ya kutosha. When you are expressing, you need to put a C-section, and then at the anatomy of the breast, we have the large ducts that are near the nipple. They temporarily store milk, and then we have the alveoli. You need to put a C-section, push against the breast, and then press. Press against the breast and then press. That milk itarushwa huko mbele. That is what you see the mother is doing. You create a C fold, and then you unarudisha nyuma, and then you press. That is hand expression. It is the cheapest and most commonest. Some can do also manual pumping, whereby you pump using a manual pump, and also who are privileged can get an electrical pump. But the best one, it hand expression. Now, when you express this milk, how long can you store it? When you are maybe in the rural areas, or maybe even in town, where you do not have a fridge, you're asking yourself, ninaweza eka hii maziwa? Yes, I can store it. Milk can stay 6 to 8 hours bila kuharibika. at room temperature and pressure. So if you are a working mother, hata kama hujaandikwa formal employment, maybe wewe ni mama wa kibanda unafanya kwa nini greenhouse za maua, or maybe you are ni mtu wa kuzurusha matunda, you can still express your milk and still do your work and do exclusive breastfeeding. So 6 to 8 hours utaikava tu juu, wadudu wa kutamba na kurukaruka wasiingie, ni uweke at the coolest part of your room. Hata kama ni single room utaweka pale. Then we have those people who own fridges. Fridge has 2 compartments. Have the lower compartment, it's more cooler, and this one more the upper part is more cooler, ambao unaweza weka ice, and the lower part, that one can stay 24 to 36 hours. And then the upper part can stay up to 6 months. So we usually say when you are expressing, do not mix milk fast in fast out. Ile maziwa ulikamua saa moja usimix na ile maziwa ya saa 2 na usimix na ile maziwa saa 3. So this brings us to what we call milk human breast milk labeling. How do you label? You can write just a small paper, date of manufacture, ni ile siku likamua, date of expiry depending the mode of storage, unaweka and then unaandikia hapo human breast milk, unaezekelea mahali na unaekelea hiyo kikombe, ndio mtu akipata anaona. So ile ulikamua ya kwanza ndio itatoka. Umenielewa mpaka hapo? Why do we insist on labeling? Number one, it will help you not to mix the milk. Now, so that to avoid spoilage and wastage. Number two, we have husbands in the houses. Nishawahi pika kahawa na maziwa ya bibi bila kujua. So it's so good to be able to label the milk. Inaweza kusaidia sana. We have our milk bank in Pumwani. And currently the Department of Health, we are lobbying to have our own milk bank in Margaret Kenyatta, so that we may get rid on infant formula. Number one is breast milk when giving a baby. Number two, expressed milk. Number three, infant formula. So unaona hata infant formula iko number 3. It is not a second option.
Na sasa ikifika wapi ndio sasa unajua unatakana kupata infant formula?
Very
Because
nice.
from the discussion, I can tell ni kama umeiweka X. Like unless it's an emergency.
Unless it's like, you know, we have hospitals, especially private hospitals, that when you deliver, that is a norm. And I want mothers to know that no, my baby should not be given infant formula. It is not antibodies protection properties. So you are you are predisposing your baby to diseases. Yes. Now, when it comes now to cultural and hizo zingine, it depends the religion and cultural setting where you come from. We have various, but I can attest to you, breastfeeding is key. Some of the cultural unapata, like I went to West Pokot, whereby a baby should not be breastfed until the mother gives a name, grandmother gives a name. You go to Samburu County, they'll tell you, mtoto atanyonyeshwa mpaka wapatie maji ya mto inaitwa ya Wamba, ya Waso River. There are places whereby in Luya they have to give a certain herbal medicine. Even here in our counties, we have had a lot of religious things that are done at it to avoid at cultural demons. So all those are myth and misconception and interfere with the health of the baby. Yes. Now we come to something you are talking about now, infant formula, BMS. There's something we call the BMS Act 2012. That was launched by them, which is a law. There are things that have been, BMS stands for breast milk substitute. What are breast milk substitute? These are things that are perceived to be better for the baby, and they are marketed all over. And the rule states that these things should not be advertised or promoted to the mothers at better. And there are certain regulations that are there that we should give this baby if this happen. Umeona? So we find the breast milk substitutes, what are they? We have like infant formula. We have what we call breast milk fortifiers. We have what we call feeding bottles. Tunaita monyonyi, zozote. We have pacifiers. We have cups with sprouts that are all over. We also have what we call processed complementary feeds that are there. These are all stopped to be able to be marketed, and that is why if you see somebody marketing infant formula, should be arrested. You can be fined even 1 million. And 3 years imprisonment. There is that BMS Act, and like some, if I know majority of us are tech and savvy, you can Google and check the BMS Act on that. When you talk about now the infant formula, there are certain instances but we may not name them here so that people
what's
take
the end of-
ideas.
yes, yes.
Let it come from a healthcare worker
Okay.
who is qualified and now qualified. Like when we have very low birth weight babies, below 1,000, below 1,000 grams, and they require supplementation, that qualifies for breast milk fortifiers.
Okay.
When a mother, maybe we have a maternal mortality, when we have babies that are mothers are having cancer, breast cancer, they cannot be able to breastfeed. When we have also mothers who are in psychiatric ward, there are mothers who deliver and they get postpartum depression and they get those one.
Yeah.
You see, those are the cases. But others, I can attest to you, 99% are able to breastfeed.
Okay.
And we give them proper support.
All right.
Before we finish, I want to give this point concerning mixed feeding. The why unapata mama anapeana uji na anapeana maziwa, ananyonyesha. Anapeana uji, ananyonyesha. What are the dangers? Number one, maziwa yako ya mama itapotea. Your breast milk production itaenda chini. Number two, I have the picture whereby the dangers of mixed feeding. Whereby if you see in this picture, we have two families. Family number one, the baby is quite healthy.
Yeah.
And you can see the husband is quite happy. The mother is smiling.
Yeah.
And the baby have been held, the proper positioning and attachment has been done. And this baby will grow to be a healthy baby, very great future, a perfect start of life.
Okay.
Picture number two. This family, as you can see, the husband is quite stressed. Ni kama amerara akienda hospitali usiku. The mother is not smiling. And the baby is malnourished. As you can see hata hapo kando, unaweza hesabu mbavu.
Ribs.
And then you see even the hair and then the protruding stomach. There are signs of marasmus and kwashiorkor. What has this baby been given? Wamejaribu infant formula, wakatoka hapo wakampea uji ya baridi, wakatoka hapo wanachanganya maji na glucose, ndio huyo dawa ya kienyeji wamekuwa wakisiaga, wamempea maziwa ya ng'ombe, kuna ule amepatiwa paipai, na hizi zote wanapatiana wakitumia hii chupa ambayo inaita feeding bottles, pacifiers na cup with the sprout. People don't know the danger of using these feeding bottles. There's one time in Twitter watu waliingiliwa sana in terms of these feeding bottles. Number one, it interferes with dental nomenclature. You know, America and other developed countries, they use bottles, but they have very good health insurance. So when you use that particular feeding bottles, that is why unaona watu wanaanza kutumia what we call bracelets kila wakati, because it interferes the dental nomenclature. It also brings infections, sore throat, otitis media, ear, nose and throat infections. And also when it makes your baby anazoea hiyo nini peke yake. And then the teat, it is made by a chemical called bisphenol A that causes cancer and interferes with reproduction and sterility. So akiitumia sana, it has been banned by APA and food FDA in various countries. Yes. So those dangers of mixed feeding, chronic malnutrition, when you start constipation, allergic reaction, intolerances. That was mtu ako na gluten intolerance, lactose intolerance, and then diabetes and childhood cancers. And these mothers will also get diabetes because they are not breastfeeding and they are not losing weight. Yes, and then this mother may get another pregnancy mapema sana. Unaweza pata mtoto, mama akona mtoto wa miezi 3 na ikona mimba ya mwezi moja kwa sababu alialisha.
All right. Yes. Now let's take a very short break for us to get the healthy living, for us to just understand exactly what you're talking about. Healthy living today imeandaliwa na the one and only Sylvia Wanja. So Sly atakuwa kituletea healthy living, and then as we come back, we'll be coming back to ask more questions, because I see already I'm having questions coming in. Kuna mtu amuuliza a very crucial question here, and that is the one tutakuwa tukirudi nayo. But for now, let's get the healthy living.
Hello and welcome to Healthy Living. Today we are going to focus on the essential practices across all stages of maternal, infant and young child nutrition, that is MYCN. They are essential practices that help support optimal growth, development and health outcomes. These practices include focusing on balanced nutrition, responsive feeding, hygiene and regular health monitoring. Here's a closer look at these essential practices that contribute to the well-being of both mother and child. Number 1, balanced and nutrient-dense diet. For mothers, eating a diverse range of nutrient-rich foods, including fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, supports maternal health and provides nutrients for fetal growth during pregnancy and for milk production during breastfeeding. For infants and young children, a balanced diet introduced through exclusive breastfeeding initially and followed by complementary foods after 6 months helps ensure that babies receive adequate energy, protein, vitamins, and minerals for healthy growth and development. Number 2, good hygiene and food safety practices. Proper hygiene reduces risks of infections such as diarrhea, which can compromise nutrition and health. Hand washing is very important. Wash hands thoroughly with soap before preparing food, feeding and eating, and even after using the bathroom. Safe food preparation. Prepare and store food safely, especially for infants who are most susceptible to foodborne illnesses. Clean feeding utensils. Use clean bottles, utensils, and storage containers to prevent contamination. Number 3, regular growth monitoring and health checkups. Routine growth monitoring, that is measuring weight, height, and head circumference, help track a child's growth process and detect any nutritional issues early. Regular health checkups also allow for timely vaccinations and interventions, such as addressing anemia or providing vitamin supplements as needed. Parents and caregivers can consult healthcare providers for personalized advice on nutrition and growth at each stage. Number 4, micronutrient supplementation where needed. Micronutrients such as iron, folic acid, calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin A are crucial for both mother and child. During pregnancy, mothers are often advised to take supplements including folic acid and iron to support fetal development and prevent deficiencies. For infants and young children, vitamin D supplementation is recommended for infants who may not receive sufficient sunlight exposure. Vitamin A supplementation may also be necessary in certain regions to support immune health. Number 5, community support and access to resources. Support from healthcare providers, family, and community resources like nutrition education programs is invaluable for promoting good MYCN practices. Access to information, healthcare, and support networks help mothers make informed decisions and stay consistent with nutrition practices across all stages. In conclusion, these essential practices of MYCN support optimal physical, mental, and emotional development for both mother and child. By focusing on a balanced diet, responsive feeding, good hygiene, and regular health monitoring, parents and caregivers can provide a strong foundation for a child's health from pregnancy through early childhood.
All right, we are back and that is it. Asante sana Sylvia. Good job, good job. Daktari amesema umefanya kazi mzuri sana hapo. Yes, very soon hata tunakuja kuvalisha gown ya daktari vile inafaa. Now we are back and a question here. Kuna mtu anauliza, a mother who has HIV, can she breastfeed?
Very nice. Asante sana kwa hiyo swali. As per the MYCN policy ambayo tuko nayo, a mother who is HIV can comfortably breastfeed for 6 months and even for 2 years. What is needed? There are three key things. Number 1, when the mother ako HIV positive, should start clinic mapema. Akiwa na mimba, ataweza kuelekezwa na mtoto ataweza kuweza kuendelea na dawa zake.
Okay.
And that is why at 6 months huwa tunaambia mama aende clinic the first trimester akiwa na mimba, ndio tukishajua atasaidika. And then pia at 3 months when delivery, mtoto ataanzishwa on what we call prophylaxis na mama ataendelea na ARV zake na atanyonyesha vizuri comfortably.
Okay.
Na especially that mother huwa anaadvisiwa not to do mixed feeding. When you do mixed feeding, the GIT mara ya mtoto haijakomaa vilivyo, na wakati utampatia uje na huyo mtoto aeze iende kwa mara ya mtoto, ikisiagwa itatengeneza kidonda.
Okay.
Na kirusi ambayo iko kwa maziwa ya mama itapita na ingie pale, na yule mtoto tunaanza kumuita human exposed, na huwa tunawapima at 6 weeks 6 months hivyo, na tunaweza pata mtoto wako ana react.
Okay.
So but uchunguzi imeonyesha vizuri, mama kati ya mama 100 ambao walinyonyesha wakiwa na HIV positive walifuata masharti, mama akameza dawa na mtoto akapatio prophylaxis na wakufanya mixed feeding, nobody Kati ya out of 99 only one. Kwa hiyo it is safe to breastfeed. After 6 months still the mother can still continue breastfeeding. Sasa mara ya mtoto imekomaa, so the baby can still continue breastfeeding up to 2 years and beyond. So because breast milk iko na properties ambazo mtoto anahitaji, that it can say,
which is very important.
Yes.
Okay. I'll be looking at a few of the messages here so that we can also get to wind up. Anasema, hello Rachel and Daktari. Hi. Anasema, my child iko almost 4 months lakini hutapika sana hata kama hajanyonya sana. What should I do?
Some of the things we usually say, we usually have a problem sometimes when mothers go to a hospital and they are not taught concerning danger signs during discharge. Ningeambia mama afungue kitabu page number 19 ya MCH booklet yake, where we have danger signs of a baby. Number 1 danger sign is nini inafaa kustusha mama aweze astuke kabisa wakati nini ataangalia. Kama mtoto hanyonyi, when a baby does not breastfeed, asimalize masaa 24 kama hajamleta hospitali. Na kabla atufikie aanze kukamua maziwa ampatie. Number 2, when the baby has fast breathing or difficulty in breathing, mtoto akianza kulia anaanza kulia kubumua haraka. Akiona hiyo inaendelea for 1 minute, kindly bring that baby.
1 minute?
1 minute and beyond. Kwa vile tunaangaliaga breath per minute. And number 3 is when the baby has fever. Kona joto ama amekuwa baridi sana. Hiyo tafadhali, hiyo ni infection, alete. Number 4 is when the baby ameboeka tu. Mtoto wako, every mother knows their baby. Ataangalia leo huyu mtoto
leo
koishi tu hivyo, leta And then number 5 is when the baby has jaundice. Na huyo inaanza na viganja vya mikono na macho na miguu. But when we have also diarrhea and vomiting, these days we are adding it kwa sababu we may have electrolyte imbalance. If a baby has vomiting episodes more than 4 in a day, can you bring that baby to tujue what is the reason? So I'll urge that mother to visit the nearest facility for skill to tujue why is it happening. But vomiting and diarrhea, we are losing a lot of water and electrolyte imbalance. So when mother we have 3 to 4 episodes, she'll visit Angalia.
All right.
Yes.
What would be your parting shot, and then you'll give us directions on how people can find you?
I will say giving your baby the right start in life. As unajua kuko na mashida mingi sana, but giving the right and perfect start will be every mother's dream in terms of health. I've seen mothers going to occupational therapists due to speech, babies not walking, teeth not developed, and then I have mothers who every time they're in the hospital due to immunity problems. If you ask that mother what she can do to be able to get a proper health to that baby that particular time, ungemwambia saa hiyo anyonyeshe that particular baby, mtoto akiwa mdogo, saa hii anaweza rudi hata anaweza ifanya like 20 times a day. Because huwa tunasema kwa Kigiriki kwamba kama hujakunyia ile kikombe haujui pale chini kuna mchanga. So if you are listening me, kindly make sure you exclusively breastfeed your baby. You may not see the benefits now, they are long time. You are securing the future. When you say that there is improvement of IQ, we have had a lot of cases in the country whereby you see somebody is not using common sense. Unapata mtu amepaka gari kwa roundabout, naoni amefanya kitu kubwa. When you talk about IQ, it's not about kupata A shule, hapana. Unapata mtu alisikia ameua mama yake kwa sababu ya shilingi 50. These are the kind of cases we are having because of low IQ. And when it is past the 1,000 day, you cannot reverse.
Correct,
So if you have a problem that breastfeeding your baby, having the problems, kindly come to our facility at PGH Nakuru County Referral. By the way, we don't charge. It is free of charge.
And by the way, Doc, so what happens to the people who have twins?
Very nice. We had a picture
Yes.
for positioning. A mother who has twins can exclusively breastfeed for 6 months. And anawanyonyesha wote wawili. Sijui
At the
kama
same
uko na hiyo
time?
picture. At the same time, they have what we call a position.
Because
kuna
I'm
ingine,
thinking for
there's a position where kuna picha mingi utaona.
for the people who have
yes,
twins.
this one.
Yes, yes.
Can you see hapo chini?
alright.
Kuko na ile breastfeeding of twins. Whereby you cross them like this na wananyonya vizuri sana. Because the oxytocin reflex does not affect only one breast. Wamama wengi watakwambia akinyonyesha hii matiti moja, hii ingine inamwagaga. Huwa inamwaga.
Yeah.
It's leaking.
Okay.
So you can see even kunyonyesha preterm, unawaingizia hipi, this way we support. And that is why we usually encourage mothers, come to our facilities. The mother and baby services are free of charge.
Yeah.
We don't charge them
Okay.
at any government hospital in Nakuru County.
All right.
Yes.
So for the people who have questions, because I see you have so many questions,
Yes.
Nile, we felt it was better for us to have the discussion
Yes.
because most of the questions, Ninaona, we've already answered them in
Yes.
that discussion. But if you still have a question, is there a way they can maybe
Yes,
get
yes,
to
yes. They can come to Nakuru County Referral Hospital. We have a functional and nutritional department at a MCH.
Yeah.
We have a nutritional room, room number 3 and room number 5. They can just come, ask for a nutritionist there. We are going to help them. Here we do growth monitoring and promotion, vitamin A supplementation. And for pregnant mothers, we have an ANC clinic that is there. That is from Monday to Friday. Just come and ask for Arthur. Yes.
Okay.
Ukifika tu useme umetumwa na Arthur, ulimuona MBCI TV,
Yeah.
utakuja pale.
All right.
Yes.
So that is in Nakuru.
In Nakuru.
Yes, PGH in Nakuru.
Yes.
When they're outside Nakuru, also I know there are government hospitals in
Yes,
your
yes.
city or in your county.
Yes.
Pia najua utasaidika huko, right?
The reason why we usually insist, we don't do phone consultations because we want to see that mother. We want to see that baby.
Okay.
Sometimes I've had phone conversation with mothers. The baby is severe, malnourished, but the mother doesn't see. So when they come, we check skin folds, we check for everything. We know these are admission case.
Okay.
So
But
mothers,
you couldn't tell on
but
phone.
every mother wants a one time magic bullet,
Yep.
silver bullet
Yeah.
solution. Nitapea mtoto nini?
Yeah.
Nitafanyia nini? Just staying at home. Kindly invest in your child's health. Isifike mahali ujenge ukuta.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sana, for coming.
Yes.
We really do appreciate. We've learned a lot. And I know that we've now gotten to know what we are supposed to do. If you have any question, remember, invest in your baby's health. It's very, very important, especially the IQ part.
Yes.
You know, there's this myth that people say, "Hapana, wewe alipata mtoto late sana in life, ndio maana IQ yake iko chini." But today we've known it is the breastfeeding part. Yeah.
Very true.
And after the 1,000 days, you can't reverse that. Usharibu. So when you're in that period, period where you're able to take care of your child, please do. All right, so that has been it. We've been talking about the first 1,000 days of a baby. Today we've talked about from birth up to 6 months. So the next session that we'll be having, we'll be looking at from the 6 months mpaka afike 1,000 days, that's 2 years,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Up to 2 years.
Yes.
So when you start the weaning part,
Yes.
and you said it's different from...
It's complementary.
Complementary?
And I like the person who did the video said the complementary.
Yes,
part.
yes. So we're going to be looking at what's the difference and how you're supposed to actually do it. Otherwise, asante sana for coming.
Thank you.
And asante sana for tuning in. It has been amazing.